Creydall Systems, meeting the IT needs of business in South Australia.
Adam Randall here from Creydall Systems. Today we're going to be talking about PC upgrades. In the past, PC upgrades have been worthwhile, and that was probably 10 years ago when PCs were extremely expensive. You know, it wasn't out of the ordinary to spend $3 or $4 grand, $5,000 on a workstation, and you could do the upgrades, and that would be quite cost effective. Today, however, in a business environment, it's much better to budget your IT and budget to replace all your workstations at the same time, and not to worry about the upgrades. The only upgrade these days that I see benefits in any way is a RAM upgrade, or a memory upgrade, and that's only because memory has changed so much in such a short amount of time, and it's become so cheap that, you know, maybe 3 years ago 1 gigabyte of RAM was 4 times the price, and now it's, you know, for 2 gig of RAM you can get it for $100, if that. So it's become so cheap, so it's an easy upgrade, and it's a simple thing to do. It takes 2 seconds to put a stick of RAM in. Possibly your hard disk, although in a business environment you must remember that your workstations should be designed for only connecting to the server and keeping all the information on the server, and only keeping a minimum amount of information local, which means that you should not need a large hard drive on a business workstation, unless it's something like a graphics workstation, and even then you should be saving all the work that you've worked on during the day back up to the server at the end of the night. So there should be a large amount of data left on that workstation. So most machines these days, I couldn't imagine a workstation needing more than about 40 to 60 gigabytes of RAM, and of course they're coming out now with minimum 160 gigabytes of RAM, 160 gigabytes of hard drive space. So it's more than enough for what it's meant to do. So there's really no need to upgrade the hard drive either. So in 3 years, say you've bought a PC, in 3 years time you'll find that pretty much all the components are due to, there's something far better out. There's new technology, who knows, USB 3 or 4 or whatever it might be, has come out, which will, of course, the big thing is the motherboard. The motherboard is the thing that will probably need to be replaced, and then of course they design PCs so that if you replace the motherboard, all of a sudden the processor that's there is no longer compatible, the memory is no longer compatible, sometimes the hard drive is no longer compatible. It makes it very difficult to actually upgrade it, and if you do try and upgrade something, you'll find that there's always going to be a bottleneck of whatever you kept. So if you kept the processor, that's going to slow everything else down. So what we're trying to say basically is you just need to replace the workstation every 3 years, 4 years at the outside if you're a business. Once you get to the 4-year mark, you start finding that the cost of running that workstation goes up because more things are likely to go wrong with it. You'll also find that the productivity goes down because people are waiting longer for things. Programs have advanced, so they're requiring faster hardware, better hardware, and so everything seems so much slower. I remember Windows 95. It's probably, my quad-core Xeon there is probably the same speed to do a lot of things as it was back then. It's just that all the programs, whether they've become more inefficient or whether they just become more features and that sort of thing. So if you try and run these sort of programs on an older machine, you kiss goodbye to 20% of your day waiting for things to happen. So yeah.
Creydall Systems is the company that manages IT from a business perspective through integration and automation of best practices within the industry.